Hello, coin collectors out there. Welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. I've got a lot of Canadian quarters in front of you right here, and interestingly, they are all dated 2000. This is half of the Millennium Quarter Collection. The Millennium Quarter Collection was kind of Canada's version of the State Quarter program, which was very successful here in the United States. However, they did it a little bit different, but equally as cool. So what they did starting in January of 1999 is they released a new themed quarter every month all the way up until December of 2000. So they released 12 of them in 1999, and then they released 12 of them in 2000. Now, I happen to have the entire set of the 2000 Millennium quarters right here. So what we're going to do is we'll just take a quick look at the reverse side of all of these, and you can check out the very cool imagery on them. Now, they all do have decent mintage to them. The mintage is around 50 to 35 million, it appears, for most of them. That's much lower than the state quarter program, which had the hundreds of millions, even close to a billion one year, I believe. But 50 million is definitely high enough that you could pull one of these out of general circulation quite easily. Now, they did make these in both the silver version of them. Unlikely that you would find one of those, but if you did, you'd be a very lucky person to find one of those. These ones right here are just your regular metal content to them, so they are just regular nickel. So the value of the coin based on the metal content alone isn't worth much, but if you can build a cool collection like I've got right here, you can sell them to maybe someone in the United States like me who's not familiar with them and wants to kind of add a cool set to their collection. All right, let's start with this first row up here. So we'll be looking at January, February, and Marches. Now, we'll try and talk about each, we will talk about each one of these. How much detail we get into will kind of depend on how long the video runs. Let's first start with January. We'll zoom in right here. So this is the Pride quarter. This one came out in January of 2000. So what we're looking at on the reverse right here is a maple leaf adorned with a red flowing ribbon and three smaller red leaves to mark the year 2000. It's surrounded with the bilingual inscription Canada and Pride. So we'll see Canada down here at the bottom for all of our quarters. We'll also see the English version on the left right there, and then the French version right here. So we've just got a bunch of maple leafs, a bunch of Canadian Pride that's represented on the reverse side of this quarter right here. Now on to the next one. This one's Ingenuity. So we see on the reverse right here a model society represented by a prosperous farms, innovative cities, rapid and safe transportation, and an eye toward space. Very cool right here. So just to recap those things that I talked about quickly. So we see a model society, which is represented by prosperous farms. So we see that see the farms right there. So we see the farms, we see innovative cities, we see rapid and safe transportation as evidenced by the train right here, and then we see an eye towards space on the left side right there. So very cool. The mintage on this one right here is 36 million. The mintage on the previous one was 50 million. So we went from 50 to 36, and then on this one right here, the mintage goes down to 35. This one is the achievement quarter. Now, as I say this, you can, of course, look right there and you'll be able to get a head start on whatever quarter it is by just reading that. But as far as the design on the reverse right here, we see a design on the theme of achievement with a reference to space conquest. It's surrounded with the bilingual inscriptions Canada, achievement, and then the French version of achievement right there. This coin was the March edition of the set of Millennium coins released during the year 2000. I'll zoom in a little bit more so we can get it in the complete shot right there. All right, so that was the March version of the year 2000. Now on to the next month right here. So this month, following March, of course, is April, and April was represented by health. As far as the mintage on this one, 35 million, and what we see on the reverse right here, we see the rod of Aspalucius. That's a very famous health kind of symbol. I'm not sure the significance of it. We see a red ribbon symbolizing the fight against AIDS, and then surrounded with the inscription at the top right there, health. We see the French version of it, and then Canada down here at the bottom. So that covers us for April. Now on to May. The May quarter was the natural legacy. So what we see right here for the natural legacy on the reverse design, we see a design representing clean air, fresh water, healthy wildlife, and thriving forest. It's surrounded with the inscriptions, natural legacy right there, and then in the French version right here. So to say that again, we've got clean air. I guess you don't really see a image of that too much. Fresh water, we see the water coming down from the sky right there. We see a fish and healthy wildlife and thriving forest. All those very important to Canada, so it's cool that they commemorated those on the quarter right here. Mintages of this one, 36 million. All right, and then on to June, which June was represented by harmony. I'll get that one for you right here. All right, so we see harmony, very simple design right here. We see a maple leaf made into a symbol of how people can live together in peace and unity. So that symbol right there. So we've got your traditional maple leaf, and then check it out. We've got these people going around the outside. So we've got this person holding hands with that person, holding hands with that person, and that person, that person, and that person. So very cool right there. So a maple leaf was made into a symbol of how people can live together in peace and unity. 35 million of these were made, and we are halfway through the 2000 Canadian Quarter Millennium series. So 6 down, and guess what, people? 6 more to go. So this one is the celebration quarter. As far as the reverse design right here, we see the Canadian nation under fireworks, and then it's surrounded by the words right here. So the Canadian nation right here, we've got some kids holding onto a Canadian flag. And then we've got the fireworks in the background. Very cool quarter right here. Now this one's got some nice shine to it. Very nice quarter. And now on to the next one in the series, representing family, this one right here. So on the reverse right here, we see 2 wolves. Now I've actually shown this one on the channel before, but we've seen 2 wolves right here, symbolizing togetherness. Then of course we've got family at the top in English and in French, the year 2000. We've got the 2 wolves together, and there were 35 million of these made, kind of similar mintage for most of them. All right, and now we are on to wisdom. Wisdom represented September, so the end of the 3rd quarter right here. Now, as far as this quarter, what you see on the reverse design, we see a elderly person representing the last millennium. He is sharing the daylight with at the Canadian heritage, symbolizing the maple leaf with the new millennium. So just to kind of clarify that, we've got a old generation, a new generation. We've got the Canadian symbol right there of the maple leaf. This person is sharing it with this person, and then we've got the daylight, the sun rising in the background. So very cool right here. The old millennium sharing with the new millennium to represent September. And now on to October. We have creativity. Now, this is probably the most creative of the coins. What we see on this reverse design right here, we see a scenery which shows an insight of art at 3 millenniums. It's surrounded with the bilingual inscription Canada and creativity. In the left part of the coin, a boat in a Inuit art. In the upper part, a tree in the style of the group of 7. In the far right, we see the landscape rendered in wire frames. So we've got wire framed landscape right here. We've got a boat in Inuit art right here. And then we've got a tree stylized in the group of 7 at the top right there. So 3 different styles of art right here, all captured on the same reverse of the coin. On to the second to last one, this one right here, representing family. Family, and the month came out was November of 2000. We see 2 children standing on a maple leaf. So we've got the maple leaf on a lot of these coins, as you can imagine. So 2 kids right there standing on a maple leaf, raising their hands in joy and freedom. Then we've got the inscription Canada and then Liberty at the top right here. So 2 kids in joy and freedom standing on a maple leaf, raising their hands. And on to the final one. I know this is kind of sad that this was the last of the Canadian Millennium quarters, but we see on the reverse design right here the Earth, represented by a map of Canada. It's surrounded by homes, trees, and other elements of the community. So we've got Earth right here, and then if you look right there, you can see the map of Canada. It's taking up the majority of the Earth right there. Then it's surrounded, going around the outside. We've got some homes, we've got some trees, then we've got other elements of community. We've got a fish, an apple, a butterfly, a flag, a airplane maybe over here, some trees. So very cool right here. This was the final one. The mintages of this 35 million. So as far as the highest mintage for the series, that will be the first for the year 2000. That will be the first year they came out, which was the Pride quarter. There were 50,074,000 of those that were made. The lowest year, so the hardest one that you'll have, the hardest one that you'll be able to find was the September quarter, representing wisdom. All right, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We went through the entire 2000 Millennium quarter collection. Maybe if you enjoyed this video, I'll be able to seek out and try and purchase the 1999 version of the series. So we could have the 99 and the 2000. If you want to see that, feel free to let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much, everyone, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Enjoy.